Veronica. Randy Crawford is an American jazz and R&B singer. She has been more successful in Europe than in the United States, where she has not entered the Billboard Hot 100 as a solo artist. She has had multiple top 5 hits in the UK, including her 1980 number 2 hit, One Day I'll Fly Away. Career: Crawford first performed at club gigs from Cincinnati to Saint-Tropez, but made her name in mid-1970s in New York, where she sang with jazzmen George Benson and Cannonball Adderley. She signed with Columbia Records and released her first single, Knock on Wood / If You Say the Word, in 1972. Adderley invited her to sing on his album, Big Man, The Legend of John Henry. During a brief tenure at Columbia Records, Crawford recorded Don't Get Caught in Love's Triangle. She is also one of the vocalists on Fred Wesley and the Horny Horns' A Blow for Me, a Toot to You LP from 1977. In 1978, Crawford performed on the second solo album of former Genesis guitarist Steve Hackett. She sang vocals on Hoping Love Will Last, the opening song on side 2 of Please Don't Touch. She led R&B veterans the Crusaders on the transatlantic hit Street Life. A specially re-recorded version was featured in the soundtrack for the films Sharky's Machine and Jackie Brown, and appeared in commercials in the early 2000s. She later recorded for Warner Brothers Records. Crawford was named the most outstanding performer at the 1980 Tokyo Music Festival. Her follow-up solo efforts included One Day I'll Fly Away, and You Might Need Somebody, which became soul standards, and a cover of Brooke Benton's classic Rainy Night in Georgia. The album, Secret Combination, stayed on the UK Albums Chart for 60 weeks, after which her profile dipped, despite a return to the UK Top 10 with Almas in 1986. She continued to record for Warner Brothers through the 1990s, but was unable to score either a big R&B hit or major crossover success. Gary Wilmot impersonated Crawford on the Bob Monkhouse Show in the mid-1980s, doing Cockney songs such as Knees Up, Mother Brown. Naked and True brought Crawford back to her roots. It included George Benson's Give Me the Night, and confirmed her soul heritage by featuring funkadelists Bootsy Collins, Bernie Worrell and the Fred Wesley Horns. She enjoyed her highest profile of the decade when rising starlet, Shola Alma, had a worldwide hit with her 1997 cover of You Might Need Somebody. Crawford recorded a live session with Joe Sample on July 24, 2007, at Abbey Road Studios for Live from Abbey Road. The episode she shared with David Gilmour and Amos Lee was screened on the Sundance Channel in the US and Channel 4 in the UK. She has sung with Bootsy Collins, Johnny Bristol, Quincy Jones, Al Jarreau, Rick Springfield, Steve Hackett, and Joe Sample amongst others. Discography Albums Notes, a peaked position on Billboard Top Contemporary Jazz Chart. Compilation albums The Competition, Sharky's Machine, Casino Lights, recorded live at Montreux, Switzerland, Greatest Hits, Wildcats, Love Songs, The Very Best of Randy Crawford, Best of Randy Crawford, Jackie Brown, Best of Randy Crawford and Friends, Love Songs, The Very Best of Randy Crawford, Hits, The Ultimate Collection, Pop Jazz Volume 1, The Best of Randy Crawford. Singles Most of the following singles charted in various countries. Guest appearances Please Don't Touch by Steve Hackett. Zucchero Live at the Kremlin by Zucchero. Hard to Hold by Rick Springfield. La Noche by Presuntos Implicados. Awards, 1982 Brit Awards Best Female Solo Artist. References. External links, complete discography at music-was-my-first-love.com, Randy Crawford biography at musicyanguide.com, Randy Crawford at VH1, Randy Crawford at the Internet Movie Database.